Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and today I'm doing a full solo playthrough of Adamastor. In this solo-only card game, we play as the captain of a fleet during the Age of Discovery, tasked with exploring uncharted lands and mapping the edges of the known world. Now I went ahead and I got everything set up for the game. You can play a single session or a group of linked sessions as part of a campaign. Today I'm playing a single session known as Classic Mode. You want to place out 3 random regular map cards and then 1 random Final Destination map card. Flip the first map card over and then place your ship marker in one of the semicircle locations on the left edge of the card. Shuffle the encounter deck and the sailing deck. Draw 3 sailing cards. This is known as the adventure row. The cards in the adventure row must always be arranged going from highest to lowest, left to right. Anytime the cards change here, you must immediately arrange them in descending order. And I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably forget to do that at some point in the playthrough. Place your bets now. You then want to draw 3 more sailing cards to form your personal hand of cards. Then place out all the player aids in this arrangement, or really however you want, and boom, setup is complete, we are ready to play. Our goal is to navigate our ship all the way across these map cards and reach our final destination. We win if we can reach that spot before our sailing deck runs out or before we face a mutiny. I'll explain how a mutiny happens really soon, but let's just jump on in and get started playing. The first thing we need to do is check the weather for the round. All you have to do is look at the icons in the top left of each card in the adventure row. As you can see, we have 2 suns and a white cloud. If you look for that pattern on this weather card, you can see right up there at the top, it's sunny. We can place a marker there just to note that. And then to the right there, it shows that we get 3 actions this round. Once again, we can just place 3 markers there to note that. Bad weather can be tough because it means you get less actions per round and also navigation becomes more difficult. But we got lucky, we got the best weather you can get. Now we get to take actions, and there are 3 different actions we can take. We can draw a sailing card and add it to our hand. We can swap a card from our hand with 1 card from the adventure row, or we can navigate our ship. And we can take these actions multiple times in any combination that we want. Now, as you're going to see, these sailing cards are multi-use. There's basically 2 types. There are skill cards that have this green banner on the side, and then there are trauma cards that have this gray banner. Each of the cards have navigation points at the bottom. We'll be spending those to move our ship. They also have threat icons on the left-hand side. There's 3 types. There's unrest, the skull is disease, and the blood mark is fatigue. And then some of the cards have this motivation symbol. The motivation symbol is how we get skills. As you can see, each skill has a cost in motivation at the bottom, either 2 or 3. Now, in order to get those skills, those motivation symbols need to be in the adventure row. And also at the end of the round, the threats that are in the adventure row are going to potentially cause us some harm. You'll see all that in action, but that's sort of a basic idea of what's going on here. Now, I think I just want to start off by drawing a card. So we'll spend an action and just draw the top card. We got Mistrust. Now at this point in the game, there's no hand limit. At the end of the round, we're going to have to discard down to 3 cards. But right now we can have as many cards as we want. I think for my next action, I'm going to swap cards. I want to take this card that I just got, and I want to swap it with either this card or this card. I think I'll take this one. And then when you do that, you'd have to rearrange this, but it's already in descending order, so that's perfect. I now think I'm going to navigate. So that'll be my last action. And when we navigate, we take any cards from our hand and we spin them for their navigation points. I only need 3 navigation points right now, so I'll go ahead and spend this one. Just put it in a discard pile. And over here, it shows the navigation costs for each different type of space on the map. Open ocean is just 2. Sort of the foggy ocean is 3. Any sort of island is also 3. And then there are these current spaces, which are either 1 navigation point or 4, depending on if you're going with the current or against it. We'll deal with currents in just a little bit. Right now, and this might be hard to see, but I just want to move from that space over to the upper right to that foggy space where there's an anchor. The foggy space costs 3. The anchor doesn't change the navigation costs. So I'm just going to move there and stop. And when you end your navigation, your movement on an anchor spot, you get to have an encounter. Now, because this is the first encounter on this map card, we get 1 token added to this card up here. That's marking our experience. So we get 1 experience, and we also get 1 morale. And the way morale works is when you gain morale, you take the top card of your discard pile, and you add it to the bottom of your sailing deck. You can see there's 3 different anchors on that card, so we can have up to 3 encounters on this card. And if we were having our second encounter, we would get 2 experience and 2 morale. Third, we get 3 experience and 3 morale. And we can spend this experience on different things. You can see we can spend 1 experience in order to gain 1 morale. We can spend 2 to gain an extra action, and then we can spend 3 to remove a trauma. You'll see traumas here in just a second. And now we get to draw an encounter card. There's 2 different types of encounters. There's sea encounters and land encounters. We're at sea right now, so you go to the bottom of the deck, draw the card, and read, in our case, the sea encounter. Your first mate thinks it's time for you to address the crew. You make a short speech and gain 1 morale. Remove this card from play. Or you make an emotive speech. Flip this card. Okay, so a lot of times we'll be given this choice if we want to take something or if we want to flip it. The reverse could be good or bad. We don't know. The 1 morale doesn't help us because we have nothing in the discard pile. So let's flip it. Let's give an emotive speech. You try to inspire your crew with words of hope. Your praise seems to have little effect on them. Some of them start to question your previous decisions, and the environment becomes even more tense. If you have 3 or less unrest traumas, lose 1 morale for each of them. Shuffle this card into the encounter deck. Okay, so our little speech didn't work, but luckily we don't have any traumas right now, so we don't lose any morale. And then we're just going to shuffle this back in. We can now just place a marker on there just to show that we've already done that encounter. We can't do it again. And that's it. We're out of actions, and so that's the end of the action phase. We now go to the events phase, and that's what this card is showing. We're just going to move down this card and sort of resolve each one of these. The first is skill. So at this point, we can gain a skill. And the way that works is if we have a skill card in our hand, which we do, we have this skill card right here. In order to gain that skill, as you can see at the bottom, we would need 2 motivation icons to be in the adventure row. Right now, we don't have any motivation icons in the adventure row, so we can't gain this skill. But if we had these 2 up there, then we could have. When you gain a skill, you just take the card and you just add it over here, turn like that. And you can see for this skill, we would get to ignore 1 of our fatigue threats. You'll see why that would be very handy here in a second. Next, we need to look to see if we have 5 unrest icons in our adventure row and among our traumas. Your hand of cards don't count. So right now we just have 1 unrest symbol, so we're fine. We can ignore that, we can move on. We're going to do the same thing for disease, and then we're also going to do the same thing for fatigue, right? The magic number is 5. So obviously we have 2 disease, 1 fatigue, we're fine. You then check for a mutiny, and this is very important because if you have at least 3 icons of each of those threats, so if we had at least 3 unrest, 3 fatigue, and 3 disease, again, across the adventure row and our traumas, then we would instantly lose the game, right? There's a mutiny, we're done. That's why managing these threats is so important. That's not the case, so we get to go on. And that's the end of the event phase. We now go to the last phase, the sunset phase. We take the lowest numbered card in the adventure row. If it's a skill card, so if it had been this card, for instance, we would just discard it. But if it's a trauma card, then we add it to our traumas over here. We now have a disease icon in our traumas that are going to get added to the threats that are in the adventure row. We would also now discard down to 3 cards if we had more, but we have 3, we're fine. And then that's the end of the round. We now go back up to the sunrise phase. We draw a card and add it to the adventure row. And again, we would rearrange them if they needed it, but right now we're in order, we're good. And now we have to redetermine the weather. At this point, we have sun, 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 which sounds good, but actually that's not that great. It's dead calm. As you can see to the right of that card, we still get 3 actions, but our navigation is going to cost +1. So every space costs 1 extra navigation point. And that's going to be true for any weather that isn't just sunny or cloudy. And there we go. Now we get to take our 3 actions and just go through that process again. We're just going to keep repeating that over and over and over again until one of 3 things happens. Either we have a mutiny and lose, this deck runs out and we lose, or we're able to sail across all these cards and get to a final destination on that final card. That's the only way we can win. Let's start by doing a swap. I then want to draw a card. Man, there's so many skulls out. So much disease right now. This is really bad. All right, I think I still want to navigate, even though it's not the best time for it. But yeah, let's go ahead and navigate. Or should I? No, actually, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on that. Let's draw another card. That skill would let us keep 4 cards at the end of the round rather than just 3. We would need 3 motivation, though, and we only have 2 out there right now. But well, we're done with our actions. We're going to go to the event. We can do skills now, and like I said, we have 2 motivation out there. I think I want this skill. So I'm just going to put this over here. You can see it costs 2. We have 2 out there, so you don't have to spend them. They just need to be out there. And now we have this ability for the rest of the game. We can ignore 1 skull threat. Again, either from the adventure row or from our traumas. Now, each round you can only do 1 skill at most, so I couldn't also do this one. So that's it. Now we're looking for 5 of any symbol. We don't have 5 of any symbol yet. That's not going to come into play for a while, so we'll just skip that for a while. And we're good on mutiny. We do have 3 skulls. 1, 2, 3. -1 because of this. So that's 2. But we obviously don't have 3 of any of the other ones. So we're going to be good for the events for a while. And it's mostly just going to be about skills. We now have to discard the lowest number. It's a trauma. So that's 2 skulls now. Really, really bad. And we do have to discard down to 3 cards. And so I'm going to discard this card. Back up to sunrise, add a card. Check the weather. It's now good. 2 suns and a cloud. 3 actions and good sailing. I tell you what, I'm going to do a swap. I'll draw. And I'll sail. I'm going to use this card and that card. So in total, I have 4 sailing points, navigation points. Now, I'm going to put these in the discard. I can put them in any order that I want. That can be important sometimes. And now here we go. We have that current. And again, this is going to be a little hard to see probably, but the waves are moving in a certain direction. And so if you come through going in that direction, then it only costs 1 navigation point, which we are. It's moving sort of in that direction. So that's only 1. And then we have an island over there, which costs 3. So that's going to be our 4 movement. We're ending on an anchor. So we're going to have our second encounter. Two experience and 2 morale. They go to the back one at a time, just like that. And now we're having a land encounter. At the trading post, one of the merchants shows you something that will help you on your journey in a trade that seems fair. Discard one of your skills, flip this card and add it to your hand, or ignore this proposal and gain 3 morale. Shuffle this into the encounter deck. Well, once again, we can only gain 1 morale at this point, so we'll have to discard our skill. Yeah, let's see what it is. Why not? So we're going to discard our skill. We get to flip this card and add it to our hand. And it is a map of the uncharted seas. Wow. A detailed map of the seas lays in front of you. And this has a condition on it. If this card is ever discarded from your hand or the adventure row, remove it from the campaign. Because we're playing classic mode, when it says remove from the campaign, we just remove it from the game. Just put it back in the box. This is a really cool card because it has 5 navigation points. But if we play it as a skill, we get to reveal all of the cards. All of our map cards. That could be handy. Interesting. Okay, event time, and we have 2 motivation out there, so I think I will get this skill. This is basically just replacing the skill that we just got rid of. We don't have 5 of any of those, and we don't have a mutiny, so we can ignore all that. Unfortunately, this gets discarded, and so we have 3 disease in our traumas. That is really bad. We should not have let that happen. At least we can ignore 1, but yikes. We're going to have to be really careful about disease in the adventure row now. I tell you what, I'm so worried about that. I'm going to actually spend 3 of my experience, and that lets you remove one of the cards from your traumas. There we go. I feel a little bit better like that. Let's check the weather. We have 1 of each. We have the sun, the white cloud, and the storm cloud, which means it's cloudy, but that's okay. Same 3 actions, no penalties to our movement. Means it might be a good time to use our map. Before we do, I want to draw another card. That would be a great one to get out there. The only problem is it would go away and become a trauma. So we wouldn't be able to take advantage of that motivation that's on it. So maybe I'll hold on to it. I'm just going to draw 1 more. Now let's navigate. So let's start off by spending our map and getting these 5 navigation points. And this is just going to go out of the game. We're coming to an edge space, and when that happens, we get to flip over the next card. If we want to, we can add more cards to our navigation action and keep going. So it's going to cost us 2 to get into there. We then flip. Do I want to spend more for this navigate? I think I probably do. Yeah, I have 3 left over. I'm going to spend 2 more. So that's giving me 5. Going into there, into that foggy spot is 3. And then it's 2 to go into that empty spot with the anchor, which means we'll have an encounter. We're on a new card, so that means we're only getting 1 experience. But also 1 morale. And this is a sea encounter. A stranded ship lies between jagged reefs. How long has it been there? Should you attempt a rescue mission? All right, we have a choice. Attempt the rescue, discard the lowest value card on the adventure row, and gain it as a trauma if it's a trauma, or place it in the discard pile if it's a skill. Flip this card and add it to the adventure row. Okay, or we can ignore the plea, lose 1 morale as your sailors question your decision, shuffle it back into the encounter deck. I mean, frankly, losing a morale right now would be better than gaining a trauma, but my curiosity has gotten the best of me. So sure, we'll attempt a rescue. So this is the lowest card. It gets added to our traumas. This goes out, and it's a new crew. As the new crew enters your ship, your sailors wonder if there will be enough resources for everyone. And it's got a condition on it. If this card is ever discarded from your hand or the adventure row, remove it from the campaign. What I find intriguing is that skill there, +1 action. That is amazing. It's going to be very difficult to make it happen, but that is now my new goal. Okay, unfortunately, no skills can be learned right now. We are dangerously close to 5 unrest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't see that coming. We have 2 skulls, but -1 because of our skill, so that's just 1. And then 2 fatigue, so no mutiny. We're all good. I'll stop going over that each time. I'll mention it if it comes up. But we have to gain this trauma now, so we ended up gaining 2 trauma because of that, which might have been a mistake. Now unrest is becoming an issue. Boy, all I have is unrest in my hand as well. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay. Looks like we have 2 suns and a storm cloud, so that's sunny. Weather's been good for us. I want to swap that card into my hand. And I'd like to get these 2 out there, although the 2 unrest there is bad. Let's draw a card. Oh, more unrest. Let's do this swap. And then I'm going to do another swap. Okay, that's it. Skill time. I've got 2 motivation. I can get this skill. That's going to let me ignore 1 unrest. That's handy because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unrest, but -1, so that's 4. So that doesn't trigger. No mutiny or anything. We get this card, though. Our traumas are adding up. That might help me, actually. So we have the same weather. Actually, it's cloudy, but same 3 actions. I'm going to draw. Ooh. +1 navigation point. That's interesting too, but I tell you what. Let's draw again. And I'm going to swap. We're living on the edge here, but got the 3 motivation, so skill time, we can get this +1 action. Yes, that is awesome. Once again, unrest is at 5 -1. We're good. Diseases have 4 -1. And luckily we only have 1 fatigue, so no mutiny. 3 unrest in our traumas. We gotta start moving. Oh, but now, of course, the weather is gonna be terrible. Storm. So that means we get 2 actions, but we get +1, so we'll get 3. But +1 navigation. Ah, look at these skills. We got 3 motivation out there. I'd love to have a card that needed 3, and then I could, like, swap. So let's draw. No! If I draw again, I'm gonna be wasting a card. I'll have to discard 1. Oh, unless I learn that skill, which lets me hold on to 4 cards. Or I could just swap and then do that one. Or that one. One thing I haven't mentioned is on these maps, some of these locations have the storm cloud. And what that is, if you end your movement on one of those, then during the next weather phase, for each of those storm icons, a white cloud will turn into a storm cloud. So it's not great to stop on those. Well, we haven't had a mutiny, even if we just leave things as they are. So let's draw another card. Okay. Now, one thing I could be doing, and we might want to start thinking about it, is making sure that that last card isn't a trauma, because then it won't get added and it'll just get discarded. Because our traumas are building up so much, the problem is the skill cards are the best cards, right? So you have them out here, you can't use them. They have the most navigation points and everything. So it's a really tricky balance. We also want to get the weather nicer if possible. So I'm going to swap. If I swap this card for that card, then we wouldn't have a trauma out there. No, I tell you what, I really want the weather to improve. So I'm going to put this out. There we go. We're going to swap like that. Now when it comes to skill, I have 2 out there. I'll do this skill. That gives me a -1 to fatigue. So I have -1 to each symbol and a +1 action. We're at 5 skulls -1, so we're good. And no mutiny or anything, so that's fine. But we are getting this trauma. The traumas are getting out of control. There's just no question about it. Oh, and now I have to discard down. Okay. Back to Sunny. That's exactly what we wanted. We're getting 4 actions now. Let's draw a card. Ah, we need 3, 4, 5 to get to the next card. Yeah, let's draw again. There we go. 3 navigation points there. And if I swap, I could get 6. Ooh, this is tricky. Okay, no, I'm going for it. We're swapping this and this. Now we're navigating. I'm going to spend 3, 4, 5. Oh, and I'm 3 away from an encounter, so because we switched onto a new card, I can spend more with the same navigation action. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So I'll spend 3 more. First encounter. One morale. And this is an ocean encounter. The priest celebrates a mass on board. Their crew feels less burdened as they pray. Flip the card. At the end of the celebration, everyone seems more hopeful. Place this card aside. Use it at any moment to remove one of your traumas from play. Oh, thank goodness. Remove this card from the campaign after using it. That could be a lifesaver. So we can spend that whenever we want. So the moment we're about to have a mutiny, we can use this to get rid of one of our traumas. Nice. All right, no skill. We have 5 disease, -1. We're fine. Okay, we're hanging in there. These traumas are becoming ugly. Ooh, that's a good card, though. Sunny weather, love it. 4 actions. We only need 4 navigation points in order to get up to that other encounter. I think that is probably what we need to do. So let's draw. Oh, wow, another +1 action. Ooh, but I like the 2 navigation points. Let's draw again. I could swap, or I could just use these 2 to get the 4. Yeah. Let's navigate. We'll spend these 2 for 4. We're riding that current properly, so that only cost us 1. And then the island costs 3. This is going to be our second encounter on this card. We now have enough experience to remove a trauma. And we have this that lets us remove a trauma, so we might be okay. Let's see what our land encounter is. The elder of the settlement tells you he can teach you a new skill. You just need to have patience. Flip this card. You are surprised by how much you have learned in such a small amount of time. Place this card aside. Use it at any moment to learn 1 skill from your hand without paying its cost. Oh, why'd we get rid of that +1 action? Oh no! Shuffle this card into the counter deck after using it. Oh man. Well, I tell you what, that wouldn't be the worst one to learn. That would let us ignore one of those of our choosing. Okay, well, we don't have to worry about that right now. Let's just go ahead and draw for our final action. Okay, we're good right now. So, okay, I'm good. I'm not going to spend my experience yet. So right now, 5 -1, 5 -1, and 3 -1. So that's not a mutiny. That's just 2 fatigue. Fatigue is keeping us from the mutiny right now. And no skill. Okay, look at that. Now that's bad because we will have a mutiny if we don't do something about that. Oh, and the weather got bad. So we're only getting 3 actions, 2 + 1, and it's going to cost more to sail. All right. Now, the nice thing is we wouldn't get a trauma, but right now, we can't let that card stay out here. Let me draw a card. Okay. Lots of fatigue. So let's spend our experience. Get rid of that fatigue. And then we have this. We could get rid of the other one. Then we'd have 3 minus 1. But I would like to swap this and then get that. Of course, it would also be nice to get rid of this bad weather. What would happen if we did a swapsy? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. 2 swaps. Or I could do that one. No, this one. Now it's time for skills. I have 3 motivation. I can get this. And that lets me ignore one of my choice. So I can save this. I could use it to get that, but I think I'm going to save it. So that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skulls. Minus 1, that's 5. And then I can use this for the skulls. That gets us to 4. 4 unrest. Minus 1, we're fine. And then 1, 2, 3, minus 1, 2. No mutiny. Woo, okay. We are on the edge of mutiny. This is not good. Ugh, good grief. At least we're getting 4 actions. But bad navigation. I need 4. I need 6 navigation. I got no navigation points here. This is tough. Let's draw. And this would give us +1 morale at the end of each round. That's good, but we kind of need that +1 navigation. Let's draw another one. Oh boy. We just don't have the navigation, do we? I think we might be in trouble here. Okay, let's do a swap. Okay. Then I'll draw again. Ooh, okay. Now we have something. So as skills go, we have 3. Let's get this one. That gives us another ignore. One of our choice. And then I'm going to use this to learn a skill. Wait, do I shuffle back in? Yeah. I'm going to learn the +1 navigation. Now, that's not +1 per card. That's just +1 every time you take a navigate action. I think we got to make a run for it. Because we are running out. But we need good weather. And we're not going to get good weather, are we? Because... oh, we might. We might still get good weather. But we are losing one of our sons. Okay, so we've avoided all events. All right, 4 actions. But we're still bad weather. So navigation is going to be tough. We need 4, 5, 6, we need 7 just to get to the next card. Okay, looks like we're surviving this, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can get rid of 2 fatigue. Yeah, so no mutiny here yet. And I still have this. I can get rid of one of these. Yeah, let's draw cards. We might just need to go. Ugh, we need some points. We need some navigation points. That would be nice to have earlier. Each skill costs 1 less motivation icon. That's amazing. But not going to help us right now. Still 1. 5 + 1, 6. I could get 6 movement. I think I'm just going to draw another one and then move as far as I can. Yeah. Well, screw it. We're sailing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 1 is 7. And I'm going to put that one on top. So there's a flag on that island, and there's 2 spots there. We just need to get to one of those spots, and we instantly win. We don't even have to go through the rest of the day. It's just automatic win. So it looks like we just have a current that we could go on, then a foggy space, and then an island space. So on a good day, that would only cost us 1 plus 3 plus 3, 7 movement to win the game. Now it's on a good weather day, which could happen if we get a sun. We draw a sun, then we could get it. But then we need 7 movement. So that's how close we are. We're between 7 and 10 movement away. But this is catching up with us. All right, so we're done. No skill. And if I did my math right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 1, we're fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So minus 1 is 5, and then we have 2 of these, so we're going to use one of them for the skull. 4, we're good. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, and then we'll use the other one, minus 1, 2 fatigue, so we don't have 3 of each, so we avoid the mutiny once again by a single fatigue. And we also have this, so we could take one of those fatigues away. This gets added. Come on, sun. Ooh, it is a sun. Means the weather is cloudy. We have 4 actions. 0 penalties. So let's just draw and sail. There's 3. Ah, there's 1. I could swap. Oh, we have a +1. Oh, wait a minute. That's it. I just swap. And sail. That's 6 plus 1 is 7. And we did it. Bam! We don't have to resolve anything else. We made it to the end. By some miracle, I managed to get through the entire game without suffering from one of these events. Still not sure how that happened, but at the very least I can do is describe what happens if you get hit by one of these. It's all right here on the player aid card. If you have 5 or more unrest, you have to discard the lowest valued card on the adventure row, and then you have to either take it as a trauma, or if it's a skill, you discard it. And then you draw a new card and add it to the adventure row. That can be especially bad because that can trigger further events. For disease, you lose 1 morale for each disease trauma that you have. And those cards don't go into the discard pile, they go out of the game. Remember, if that sailing deck runs out, you lose the game. And then for fatigue, you lose 3 morale. And as I said, with mutiny, you actually lose the game. And there you have it. That was a complete solo game of Adamastor. I'd like to thank all the financial supporters of Totally Tabled, including the totally radical Dr. Casey, Hextra, Mitch Fisher, John Kohler, Scott Myers, and Jay Satterwhite, as well as the totally bodacious Tobias Schumacher. If you're interested in becoming a member, you can join on YouTube or my Patreon at www.patreon.com/totallytabled. You'll gain access to my new exclusive podcast, Table Talk, as well as unboxing videos and whatever extra stuff I come up with. As always, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.